Я сейчас надеюсь, что переводчики к нам присоединятся и переведут. Так. Just let me check one thing. I'm sorry, we are waiting for our interpreters. Of course, we can speak, we can communicate in English, but still there are some people, guests who will know only Russian. That's why we need interpreter. Just wait a minute, I'm just sorry.
Yes, interpreter is here. I'm sorry, there were some technical
Thank you.
problems. So, dear guests, let me open this round table, 30 years of sister cities relations between Cleveland and Volgograd.
И позвольте мне представить и предоставить слово для приветствия проректору Волгоградского государственного университета Валентину Алексеевичу Дзедику. Он от лица Волгограда приветствует наших гостей.
So let me introduce and invite the Vice Rector for Scientific Work, Valentin Alexeyevich Dzedik, who will start this roundtable.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Меня слышно? Хорошо, я надеюсь. Я рад вас приветствовать на круглом столе, посвященных 30-летию побратимских связей между городом Кливлендом и городом-героем Волгоградом. Эти связи, безусловно, очень важны для нас. Значит, к нашему удовольствию среди нас находятся люди, которые находились у истоков этих связей, этих отношений, этого партнерства. Сегодня мы их очень рады видеть. Сегодня мы им дадим обязательно слово и с большим удовольствием выслушаем. Это в первую очередь Юрий Федорович Староватых. Мы его очень рады видеть. И, естественно, мы очень рады поприветствовать наших партнеров из города Кливленда и засвидетельствовать их в нашем почтении и в том, что мы готовы, в том числе и в рамках этой конференции, продолжить и укреплять наши связи. Меня попросили быть очень кратким, поэтому на этом я заканчиваю и прошу, значит, Елену Федоровну объявить первого нашего эксперта.
Dear guests, I'm very happy to welcome you all here during the roundtable, 30 years of sister cities relations between Cleveland and Volgograd. This relationship is very important for all of us, and I'm very glad to welcome here people who were at the beginning of the foundation of this relationship. And first of all, it is Starovatych Yuri, who was a kind of a founder of this relationship. And besides, I'm very happy to welcome today our partners from Cleveland. And during this roundtable and within this roundtable, we would like to strengthen our cooperation. And now I would like Elena Fedorovna to moderate this roundtable further.
Thank you, Валентин Алексеевич. И я хочу предоставить слово почетному гостю нашего сегодняшнего мероприятия, человеку, который действительно в 90-м году подписал соглашение между Волгоградом и Кливлендом, почетный гражданин города Хиросимы, почетный гражданин города-героя Волгограда Юрий Федорович Староватых. Юрий Федорович, будьте добры, поприветствуйте наших гостей, участников. Мы очень будем рады слышать вашу историю, как подписывали соглашение с Кливлендом.
And now I would like to invite our honorary guest, Yuri Fedorovich Starovatych, the person who signed a friendship agreement between Volgograd and Cleveland, who is also the honorary citizen of Hiroshima. Dear Yuri Fedorovich, please, you are welcome.
Спасибо. Дорогие друзья и добрый день, дорогие друзья. Я так смело говорю «друзья», потому что абсолютно уверен, что аудитория нашего сегодняшнего форума состоит из друзей мира на Земле, нашей главной человеческой ценности. Ведь служение делу мира испокон веков считалось благородным делом. Разрешите мне, представляющего здесь Волгоградское отделение Всероссийского фонда мира, поздравить участников форума с началом работы и пожелать успехов. Теперь уже общепризнано, что Волгоград и Ковентри – основатели движения породненных городов. Из ручейка в 1944 году выросла полноводная река партнерства тысяч городов. Более 40 из них являются городами-партнерами Волгограда. Это и Хиросима, Япония, и Кёльн, Хемниц, Дижон, Франция, Льеж, Бельгия, Турин, Италия, Порт-Саид, Египет, Острава и многие другие. Но по-разному проходили подписания, и сегодня мы ведем речь о 30-летии подписания договора между Кливлендом и Волгоградом. И вот Кливленд, Соединенные Штаты. Вспоминая события 30-летней давности, хочу сказать, что поставить свою подпись под договором о партнерстве наших городов – это был финал напряженной работы мэрии двух городов, его жителей, работы, насыщенной встречами, дискуссиями, познаванием друг друга, длившейся 5 лет.
Dear friends, and I'm fully confident that we are all friends, and we are friends for this in this earth. And let me, on behalf of the All Russian Public Foundation for the Russian Peace Fund, I wish you the success during this roundtable, during the discussions and other events. I want to say that Cleveland and Volgograd are the founder of the Sister Cities movement, which since the 1944 made a great contribution to the partnership between the cities. And this partnership counts now about 1,000 cities that are connected with each other, and more than 40 cities are now the sister cities of Volgograd, such as Köln, Cologne, Dijon, Turin, Chemnitz, and other cities. But for now, we are talking about the 30 years of the sister cities relationship between Cleveland and Volgograd. And looking back to the past, to the process of signing the agreement, I would like to say that a great contribution was made during the 5 years of hard work between the cities.
Началось это в 1985 году, год 40-летия исторической победы союзников над фашистской Германией после знаменитой встречи в Таргау на Эльбе американских и советских солдат. В Кливленде была создана организация Кливленд Партнер Сити.
Юрий Федорович, прошу прощения, позвольте переводчикам вас перевести. Я прошу прощения за то, что перебиваю.
So the relationship between the cities started in 1985 when there was a 40 years anniversary after the great victory over the fascism.
Члены этой организации Кливленд Партнер Сити поставили цель добиться установления дружбы и партнерства Кливленда с одним из городов СССР и направили свои предложения в 5 городов: Ростов-на-Дону, Калинин, Псков, Ярославль и Волгоград.
The membership of the Cleveland partner cities has started from the point that the partnership agreement was directed to the 5 cities of the USSR, among which was Volgograd.
Будучи мэром, я принимал эту делегацию, и в ее составе был Дональд Роул, который обратился с тысячами писем к своим соотечественникам, ветеранам Великой Отечественной войны, и с просьбой служить делу миру. Он получил тысячи писем. И вот, значит, это была задушевная беседа с участниками войны в Волгограде. В 1987 году уже прибыла делегация из Кливленда. Наш город к этому времени получил звание «Город-посланец мира», который был утвержден Организацией Объединенных Наций.
And at that time, as a mayor, I met Donald Roll, who told me that he got about 1,000 of letters from the veterans of the Great Patriotic War, and he addressed them to serve the peace in the world. And in 1987, the first delegation visited Cleveland.
Присуждение этого ответственного почетного звания «Город-посланец мира» давало нам как бы возможность, то есть как бы сам Бог велел Кливленду подписывать Волгоград в качестве города-партнера. Да, и мы уже узнали много интересного об этом замечательном городе, славу которого создают его замечательные жители, ученые, изобретатели.
And Volgograd achieved the status of peace messenger under the United Nations, and that gave it the right to sign the documents and agreements, and that was a kind of a fame for all of its creators, inventors, and other outstanding people.
Так что выбор был сделан, и 13 сентября 1990 года был подписан договор, в котором было написано: «Мы, граждане города Кливленда, совместно с гражданами города Волгограда, горды честью провозгласить установление партнерства между нашими городами и просим Международную организацию городов Sister Cities International официально признать это партнерство». И подписали мэр Волгограда Староватых, мэр Кливленда Майкл Уайт и президент городского совета Кливленда Джей Вестбрук. И чуть позже это же подписал и председатель городского совета Волгограда Юрий Чехов.
So the choice was made, and on the 13th of September in 1990, the agreement was signed, and it was an honor for both parties to be partners under this agreement. And the signature was put by the mayor, Yuri Starovatych, by me, and the Michael White.
По горячим следам был всплеск взаимных интересов, контактов, особенно среди театралов был сразу же организован театральный хороший фестиваль. Но никто в то время не мог представить, что в ближайшее время рухнет СССР. А так случилось уже буквально через небольшой период времени. И, к сожалению, значит, развал Советского Союза привел к тому, что, значит, постепенно уже налаживаемые контакты начали теряться. И в Советском Союзе, к сожалению, значит, так сказать, эта система борьбы за мир была, ну, не разрушена, но была очень неэффективная. Поэтому наступило время, когда потребовалось создать на базе университета Центр общественной дипломатии. Я участвовал в становлении этого центра. И моя цель последних лет заключается в том, чтобы этот центр был очень эффективным, потому что служение миру – одна из главных задач наравне с патриотизмом, другими задачами любого здравомыслящего гражданского общества.
And since then, there was a high interest, especially in theatrical movements and events, and in and other different cooperation directions. But nobody expected at that time the collapse of the USSR, and it showed that the system of the fight for the peace was not effective. The time has come, the time that was that contributed to the establishment of the Center for Public Diplomacy on the basis of the university, the Volgograd State University, and I participated in this establishment. And I believe that the most important thing is serve to the peace and to the peace in the world.
Так, 30 лет пролетели, и сейчас задача, прежде всего, у меня надежда на студентов, с которыми мы сегодня в основном общаемся, которые, значит, должны стать основной движущей силой нашего общества в этом турбулентном мире, подверженном дикой русофобии, историческому искажению истории, значит, всяким другим, значит, искажением исторических ценностей. И вот на студентов вся надежда. Это, значит, в советское время в умах студентов не было какого чувства противодействия народам, национальностям. Была живучая и каждодневно высвечиваемая мысль, что человек человеку друг и товарищ. Вот к этому я вас и призываю. И надеюсь, что и сегодняшний разговор послужит собиранию камней, сплачиванию наших ранее отношений, которые сложились. И я надеюсь, трудно сейчас, почему обращаюсь к студентам? Потому что мэрии очень трудно сейчас сколыхнуть эту проблему. И Кливленда, и Волгограда. А вот студенты – это те, которые могут, так сказать, эту проблему разрушить. Это Центр народной дипломатии, постоянно работающий на том, чтобы наши президенты, руководители наших государств понимали, что белое – это белое, черное – это черное, значит, приведет к тому, что в конце концов добро победит зло. Спасибо.
Спасибо большое.
And now I'm going to say that I hope for the students as they are the moving force that can contribute to the strengthening of the relationships, because it is more and more difficult to for the mayors, for the government to raise the problems and to come to any solution. So thank you very much, and I'm going to open this round table.
Thank you very much и bon chance.
Юрий Федорович, спасибо большое вам за приветствие. И мы продолжаем. И мне бы, поскольку Юрий Федорович уже сказал о роли организации Sister City International, я хочу предоставить слово Биллу Борему, нашему другу, который очень на регулярной основе поддерживает контакты с Центром общественной дипломатии. Он нам расскажет о важности побратимства США и России. Bill, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Биллу привет.
Bill, you're welcome.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for the introduction. And I feel close to both cities. Many years ago, when I was in the banking industry, I traveled many times to Cleveland and met the wonderful people there, the excellent business people, and the great heritage and history of Cleveland. So I enjoyed that. I haven't been back in a while, so I guess I have some catching up to do. But of course, this is also the occasion to revisit, at least virtually, with Volgograd. So shall I, will it be translated?
Оксана, could you...
Да-да-да, одну секундочку. Несколько лет тому назад я работал в банковской сфере и по долгу службы несколько раз ездил в Кливленд. Хочу отметить, что у данного города очень богатое историческое культурное наследие, которое захватывает с первого взгляда. И я очень надеюсь, что мне удастся посетить хотя бы виртуально также прекрасный город Волгоград.
Well, I'm very happy and honored, in effect, to follow my colleague Yuri. And this is just another evidence to me of his many accomplishments.
Я рад также приветствовать моего коллегу Юрия со всеми его замечательными достижениями в этом городе.
And also, I wanted to make a special hello to Pietro, who I'm happy to see, with him spending more time in Cleveland, to admire the wonderful architecture of the public buildings and spaces there, which he documents for us on Facebook.
Также я хотел бы особенно поприветствовать моего коллегу Пьетро, с которым мы были много раз в Кливленде и работали над документами, а в том числе общались по Facebook.
Well, this meeting is a wonderful testament to the work of so many bilateral partnerships throughout the world that Sister Cities International works on.
Данное собрание определенно является важным вкладом в двухстороннее сотрудничество партнерских городов в области мира.
The power of the Sister Cities movement is really at the very local level, the bilateral level. So I applaud the people from Cleveland who have enlivened and restored this relationship. It certainly has had a long history.
Движение городов-побратимов происходит очень на местном уровне, и оно происходит очень тесно. Мы считаем, что жители Кливленда тоже рассчитывают на такое сотрудничество в дальнейшем в области мира.
This partnership is one of 60 that exists across Russia and across the United States.
Сейчас это одно из 60 партнеров, заключенных по всему миру.
And it underlies a very important relationship which has come under stress in recent years. And in the view of many observers, the relationship between the two countries is at its most delicate, if I can use that word, in many decades. So the work that is done by Cleveland and Volgograd and the other partnerships is very important to improving the relationship between our countries.
Данное партнерство находится в очень деликатном положении за последние несколько декад в связи с происходящими условиями в мире. Но мы надеемся, что партнерство между Кливлендом и Волгоградом, делающее вклад в международные отношения в области мира, также сохранится.
Our countries are important players on the global scene and involved in many issues and challenges for other countries. So it's been observed by many important people in government and those who've been in government in the past, certainly on the side of the US, that this is a top level relationship which needs to be enhanced.
Установление партнерства играет важную роль в этом вызове среди всех стран мира. Люди, находящиеся в правительстве сейчас и находившиеся в правительстве ранее, также играют важную роль и могут поспособствовать установлению мира, однако не всегда могут это решить быстрым способом.
And Sister Cities International is working hard on this effort. We have a relationship which I helped to negotiate with the Union of Russian Cities.
Организация городов-побратимов очень усиленно работает в данном направлении и старается поспособствовать установлению мирных отношений между всеми городами в мире.
And we are having more joint programs together, and I think we're going in a good direction.
Мы считаем, что мы двигаемся в правильном направлении на данном этапе развития отношений.
But we also have the encouragement of the Foreign Ministry of the Russian Federation and of the Russian ambassador to the US in Washington, D.C.
Мы считаем, что министерство нас поддерживает очень хорошо в этом отношении, а также посол России в Вашингтоне.
And I can assure you that the American embassy in Moscow is interested in and willing to support the joint efforts here, individual cities, and they're always happy to hear about it, what's going on. And so I wanted to give you encouragement that both governments favor this overall movement of city partnerships across our countries.
Хочу заверить вас, что со стороны каждого из правительств и каждой страны осуществляется определенное движение в направлении установления мирных связей.
And Sister Cities International has recently implemented a more robust global awareness program.
Также хочу сказать, что Sister Cities International осуществляет одну из наиболее очень масштабную деятельность в этом отношении.
And part of this global awareness program are global conversations. And it was only 3 weeks ago that I had a conversation with the Russian ambassador, Antonov, who I've met before. And we had a very good session with a number of people in the US who are interested in the US-Russia relationship.
Данная программа предполагает общение с разными людьми. В том числе я общался с послом России, а также со множеством людей в Америке, которые были заинтересованы в усилении и улучшении взаимоотношений между Америкой и Россией.
As always, the ambassador did two things. One was to offer assistance and cooperation in these relationships. And secondly, he is always a frank but courteous speaker of the issues between the countries.
Посол сказал две основные вещи. Первое, он предложил содействие и поддержку в восстановлении данных отношений, а также он всегда был за честность и дружественность данных отношений.
And he also came up with a wonderful idea, which I want to repeat here and to present it as a challenge to both cities to carry this forward.
Также я пришел к одной замечательной идее, о которой хотел бы поделиться насчет данного вызова в области мирных отношений.
So his suggestion was to establish a new level of relationships, still subnational, if we can call it that, but a relationship between various of the United States and the regions in Russia.
Данная идея заключается в установлении субнациональных отношений, если их так можно назвать, между различными регионами в России и отдельными штатами в Америке.
And so in the United States, the states, the individual jurisdictions of the 50 states have many important responsibilities that impact their residents and citizens directly.
Вы знаете, что в США включает в себя 50 отдельных штатов, в которых есть отдельные ответственности и права и различные области отношений.
And my impression is that in Russia, the federal government is looking more and more to the regions to provide benefits to and to look after their citizens.
Я считаю, что в России правительство очень направлено на регионы для того, чтобы предоставить большую поддержку и позаботиться о своих гражданах.
So what I'd like to do is to leave with each of the cities, and we have you both here, leave with each of the cities the initiative to establish a relationship between the state of Ohio and the Volga region, to approach the authorities in each of those jurisdictions and become, as is your heritage, to become the first to establish state to region relationship between the countries.
Данная инициатива включает установление дружеских взаимоотношений между Огайо и Волгоградским регионом, чтобы стать одним из первых, кто сможет установить взаимоотношения между штатом и регионом, а не только между городами.
Well, so that's my challenge, and I'm very happy again to be part of this meeting that we're having, mutual meeting, and it is something which gives me a lot of inspiration and motivation to keep doing this work. So thank you all, so many of you who have attended this session.
Хочу выразить особую признательность всем тем, кто здесь присутствует, а также сказать, что данное событие привносит особое вдохновление и вдохновляет меня на дальнейшее движение и совершение важных действий в данной области. Большое всем спасибо за то, что вы сегодня сюда пришли.
Большое спасибо, Билл. Особая благодарность за то, что вы рассказали про ваши контакты с послами. И я надеюсь, что теперь мы знаем, к кому обратиться за содействием и поддержкой, если нам возникнет такая необходимость дальше развивать наши контакты. Это очень хорошая новость для меня, и я надеюсь, что Sister City International будет нас всячески поддерживать и рекламировать нашу деятельность. Make translation, please.
Thank you for your story about your contacts with the ambassador. So now we know who we can ask for help in establishing a more tight relationship and who can advertise us on international level. Thank you.
Друзья, давайте мы тогда продолжим, и мы предоставим возможность с российской стороны нашему коллеге, кандидату исторических наук, доцентру кафедры международных отношений, политологии и регионоведения Екатерине Архиповой рассказать о побратимском движении, о российском взгляде. И я попрошу Екатерину Владимировну be in short, please. Екатерина Владимировна, you're welcome.
Спасибо большое, Елена Федоровна. Цель моего доклада...
Just a minute, переводчики. Сейчас, переводчики.
So for now, I'm going to invite Ekaterina Arkhipova, the candidate of Historical Sciences, the Associate Professor of the Department of International Relations, Political Science and Regional Studies of Volgograd State University, who is going to present you her report on the Sister Cities movement, the Russian view.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги. Очень рада всех приветствовать на нашей дискуссии. Цель моего доклада заключалась в том, чтобы рассказать о российском взгляде, о том, что такое побратимское движение и как оно работает.
Dear guests, I'm very happy to welcome you all here, and the aim of my speech for now is the Russian view on what Sister Cities movement is.
В целом, побратимское движение, или еще можно встретить такую формулировку, как движение породненных городов, уже является признанным элементом общественной дипломатии. Сама же общественная дипломатия позволяет людям налаживать непосредственное сотрудничество, то, что сейчас можно назвать person-to-person contact, даже когда государства на официальном уровне могут быть заняты немножко другими аспектами.
And in general, I would like to say that the Sister Cities movement, that is also called the movement of the Twin Cities, is the element of public diplomacy, and in some way it is more efficient because of the person-to-person contact, while the probably governmental relationship are not very effective and friendly.
Само побратимское движение, как известно уже, сегодня упоминалось в предыдущих панельных дискуссиях, началось с выражения соучастия, началось с помощи между людьми, которые испытали схожие коллизии во время Второй мировой войны. Напомню, это 1944 год, и первые побратимы – это Волгоград и Ковентри.
I want to say that Sister City movement has started from the help between the people during the Second World War, and I would like to mention that the first Twin City Partnership was established in 1944 between Volgograd and Coventry.
Для российской страны на сегодняшний день, конечно, характерна институционализация побратимского движения, но она сложилась еще в советский период. Так, с 1964 по 1991 год вопросы побратимства курировал Союз Советских Обществ Дружбы и Культурной Связи с зарубежными странами.
And for the Russian Federation, it is obvious that it was a kind of the institutionalization of the Twin City movement during the USSR times, and from the 1968 to 1991, the questions of the partnership was under the regulation of the special union that was responsible for the public relationship with other countries.
В рамках этого союза, якобы такой общественной организации, сфункционировала ассоциация по связям советских и зарубежных городов. В результате их работы 289 городов и регионов Советского Союза породнилось с 530 городами и регионами в 71 стране мира.
And under the framework of this union, there was an association, and during the hard work of this association, about 289 regions of the USSR became the twin cities of about 530 cities around the globe from about more than 70 countries.
На сегодняшний день эта организация, эта ассоциация с 1991 года преобразована в Международную ассоциацию «Породненные города».
From 1991, this association was transformed to Sister Cities organization.
То есть это, по сути, общественная организация, которая очень тесно взаимодействует с властью и является очень важным звеном между, скажем так, инициаторами таких связей на местах и с представителями власти.
And for now, this organization is public, and it has a strong partnership with the government and with the power. And this organization is the key one in establishment of the partnership between the countries.
Между людьми. Кроме того, необходимо отметить, что на местах, в городах, которые развили сеть побратимских связей, в администрациях областей всегда присутствуют отделы, которые курируют такие контакты.
And I would like to note that in these cities, and there are some structural departments in administrations that coordinate the work of these during this partnership.
На государственном уровне вопросы побратимства, естественно, находятся в первую очередь под контролем Министерства иностранных дел, и не случайно в этой связи, например, уважаемый Билл Боуром отмечал выступление посла Соединенных Штатов, прошу прощения, посла Российской Федерации в Соединенных Штатах Анатолия Антонова, когда он 14 октября заявил о том, что побратимские связи дают новые возможности для сотрудничества, и каждому американскому штату надо отыскать своего партнера из числа субъектов Российской Федерации, то есть о чем уже сегодня говорили, именно о межрегиональном сотрудничестве, которое тоже может принять такую форму побратимского движения.
We all know that on the state level, the partnership is under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I would like to go back to the previous speech by Bill Boerum, who said that who mentioned the speech of the ambassador of the Russian Federation to the United States, Anatoly Antonov, who claimed and stated on the 14th of September the necessity to find the partner from the regions of the Russian Federation and to establish the sub-regional relationship.
Кроме того, финансовую поддержку серьезную оказывает фонд президентских грантов. И его активность, кстати, вот приходится вот на последние несколько лет, что говорит об особой заинтересованности со стороны государства к этой сфере.
And besides, the financial support is now under the Presidential Foundation of Grants, and this is the evidence of the special interest to the establishment of such partnership.
И особую роль необходимо отметить особую роль Россотрудничества которые выделяет отдельно программу международного, регионального и муниципального сотрудничества. И она распадается на 3 направления, говорящие вот об особом внимании к развитию межрегиональных, межгородских контактов.
And the special role is and belongs to Россотрудничество, who has a special program with three directions that can help to establish the regional and international cooperation.
В частности, одна из программ «Многостороннее муниципальное сотрудничество» включает в себя профильные контакты внутри регионов и субрегионов мира, то есть нацелена на, скажем так, сотрудничество с определенными регионами зарубежными для российских регионов. В частности, ведется работа по взаимодействию с Союзом русских ганзейских городов по развитию формата Ганзейского союза нового времени.
The first program is focused on the establishment of cooperation with the regions of around the globe and with the certain regions of other countries. And in particular, that is the cooperation within the union of the Russian and Ghanaian relationship.
И второе направление – это международное региональное сотрудничество, и третье посвящено как раз дипломатии городов и международным проектам. На самом деле, несмотря на ситуацию с пандемией, нельзя не отметить большие усилия, сделанные Россотрудничеством в этом направлении, потому что ряд мероприятий был проведен буквально недавно в Казани. Страны, члены БРИКС, встречались именно в качестве вот межрегиональных контактов и породненных городов. На этом у меня все. Спасибо за внимание.
The second program is focused on the international and regional cooperation, and the third on the international projects. And despite the pandemic, Россотрудничество made a great effort to support these to support the cooperation and to organize events in Kazan during the COVID-19 where the countries where BRICS countries took part and had an opportunity to meet and discuss all the issues. Thank you very much.
Екатерина Владимировна, спасибо большое. И мы теперь передаем эстафету американским коллегам. Я хочу представить моего хорошего друга из Кливленда, который участвовал и участвует во многих мероприятиях. Преподаватель Государственного университета Огайо Пьер Шикарян. В прошлом году в рамках форума он рассказывал про дипломатию, про русских в Кливленде, а сегодня он нам расскажет про оркестровую дипломатию, гастроли Кливлендского оркестра по Советскому Союзу. Pietro, the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Let me just unmute myself here. Well, first of all, I want to thank my wonderful colleagues in Volgograd in Russia for hosting this wonderful event, and also for Yuri Fyodorovich for his excellent speech, and also for Bill for his speech as well.
Можно перевод?
Переводчик.
Я бы хотела начать с того, чтобы поблагодарить всех предыдущих спикеров за их замечательные речи.
Okay. And also, you guys are doing good, I assume, with COVID. I mean, I heard that there's now a spike, so I hope you're doing well with COVID-19, coronavirus situation.
Несмотря на тяжелую ситуацию с COVID-19, надеюсь, что у всех у вас все в порядке в любом отношении, и вы абсолютно здоровы.
And so now I would like to talk about the importance, especially when we talk about relations in terms of, we talked a lot about political relations, but I also want to talk about cultural relations. And our relations as a city, Cleveland's relations with Volgograd, actually, even before these relations were established, Cleveland's relations with Russia culturally have a very long and rich history.
Сегодня я бы хотела говорить также о культурных отношениях между нашими странами. Возможно, еще задолго до того, как Кливленд установил отношения с Волгоградом, у Кливленда появились отношения с Россией в культурном плане.
And so the most prominent example of this, there are many examples, but for example, early on we had the Ballet Russe come to Cleveland, the original Ballet Russe. We had Diaghilev come to Cleveland. We had also Pavlova, she came to Cleveland. We also had Mayakovsky came to Cleveland, 1925, recited futurist poetry. We also had, for example, Ilfin Petrov came to Cleveland in 1930s, as part of their American road trip. And also in 1935, we had the premiere of the opera Lady Macbeth in Minsk, the U.S. premiere of the opera in Cleveland.
Существует большое количество замечательных примеров, но в качестве основного примера хотелось бы сказать о том, что очень многие представители культурной элиты России приезжали сюда, в Кливленд. В их числе находятся Петров, Маяковский, и многие другие представители этой сферы.
Well, I mean, yes, and so in addition, we also had the 1965 tour. This is very important. The 1965 tour of the Cleveland Orchestra throughout the USSR.
Хотелось бы отметить 1965 год и появление Кливлендского оркестра в СССР.
And this trip by the orchestra actually has origins in the American Cultural Diplomacy Program. And really the planning for the actual specific visit of the orchestra to the Soviet Union began in July 1963 under President John F. Kennedy.
Также хотелось бы сказать, что появление оркестра является одним из важных культурных событий в 1963 году, в то время, когда правил президент Кеннеди.
And the trip commenced, it included also many stops to Europe, but it included, to Western Europe, that is to say, and as well as the Eastern Bloc, that is the Warsaw Pact states.
Также во время путешествия оркестр делал несколько важных остановок в Европе.
And the trip commenced in April 1965 and went till June 1965.
Это событие имело место в период с апреля по июнь 1965 года.
There were 25 concerts in 6 cities in the USSR. And this was extremely important because it was kind of like an extension of kind of an olive branch in the cultural way to the Soviet people by the United States, by the Cleveland Orchestra.
Состоялось 25 концертов в 6 различных городах. Можно считать, что данное событие было своеобразным продолжением и расширением культурных контактов между Америкой и Россией.
And basically, this was also a very tense period in American-Soviet relations. This was the period of the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was raging during this period. And so this visit was extremely significant.
Это был чрезвычайно важный период в сложных отношениях между Америкой и СССР на тот момент.
And it commenced in Moscow. So the first concerts were held in Moscow. And actually, they were attended by the member of the Politburo, who was also the #2 figure in the Soviet Union, Anastas Ivanovich Mikoyan. He attended one of the concerts in Moscow. And that sort of kind of, helped kind of break the ice, so to speak. This kind of phrase, break the ice, being that it kind of made it kind of warmed the overall situation.
Стоит упомянуть об одном из первых концертов в Москве, где присутствовал член Политбюро Микоян. Можно сказать, что данный концерт позволил сломать лед в отношениях между двумя странами, а также подогреть отношения.
So basically the trip, the tour began in Moscow, but then it went to Kiev. It went to Ukraine. And they performed in Kiev. And then from Kiev, then they went to Tbilisi, Georgia.
Данный тур из Москвы продолжил свое движение на Украину, презентовал свои концерты в Киеве, а затем двинулся в Тбилиси, в Грузию.
Yeah. And this was a completely different, environment to be in the Caucasus. The Georgians gave a major reception to the visitors from the United States. And they even gave a toast to the visitors saying, to your loved ones at home who may be worried about you, we want them to know that they are among friends. That you are among friends, that you are among friends.
Вы сами знаете, какая природа замечательная на Кавказе, в Грузии, как дружелюбные жители в Грузии. И они устроили великолепный прием, поднимали тосты за здоровье гостей, и тем самым провозглашая, что они беспокоятся о них и хотят считать их своими большими друзьями.
And so the concert in Georgia was so well received that there were so many people there that you even had two people sitting in the same chair in the concert hall in Tbilisi.
Концерт в Грузии привлек очень большое количество людей. Весь зал был заполнен людьми, сидящими и стоящими, наблюдающими за концертом.
And then after the tour in Georgia, they actually went by car. So most of the time they would go by plane. They would go by plane from city to city in the USSR. But this was the first time they went by car, and they went from Georgia to Armenia.
Они в основном путешествовали на самолете из города в город России, но из Грузии они поехали в Армению в первый раз на машине.
So they crossed through Azerbaijan, and then they came to Armenia, and they went to Lake Sevan in Armenia, and they were treated to a big reception at Lake Sevan, and they even had a jam session with Armenian musicians. They even practiced with Armenian musicians.
Они пересекли Азербайджан и попали в Армению. Там снова их ожидал шикарный прием, а также смешанная музыкальная сессия с армянскими музыкантами.
Yeah, so this is Ozero Sevan. So this is the largest lake in the Caucasus that they were visiting. And then after this, then they went to Echmiadzin, which was the capital of the Armenian Apostolic and Orthodox Church, and they met with the Patriarch Vazgen I.
Они посетили озеро Сиван, а также встретились с патриархом Вазгеном.
And then after this, then they went to Yerevan, and they performed many concerts in Yerevan. And the people, the young people, the youth in Yerevan were very enthusiastic and very loud in their reception of the musicians from Cleveland.
Они посетили Ереван и дали там несколько концертов. И там ожидал очень хороший прием. Жители Еревана очень тепло отнеслись к музыкантам Кливленда.
So, you know, about this time in America and actually in the West, there were very famous British rock band, the Beatles. And you may well know that they were extremely popular, especially with young women, that they would be like, oh, yes, we love you, this sort of thing. This was kind of the reception that they were getting in Yerevan and also in USSR in general, that they were like celebrities, this kind of way.
Вы знаете такую западную группу, как Beatles? Они были особенно популярны среди женщин, вызывали их крайний восторг. Вот то, как принимали музыкантов из Кливленда в Ереване и вообще в принципе в СССР, напоминало примерно такой же прием, практически как величайшие знаменитости.
And there was even a case in Yerevan where the violinist who was with the orchestra, one of the violinists of the Cleveland Orchestra, was actually stopped on the street, and people demanded an immediate performance from him right on the street in Yerevan, and he performed for them.
В группе был очень известный виолончелист, и он остановился на улице и прямо на улице дал свое представление.
And then from here, they went to Sochi on the Black Sea. So they performed also in Sochi, and they were mesmerized by the beauty of Sochi, the natural beauty, but also the history of Sochi as well too.
Далее они двинулись в Сочи, на Черное море, и были поражены красотой данного города, а также его историческим великолепием.
They were actually in Sochi, and at the time, this is very important, especially for people in Volgograd, that they were in Sochi at the time of May 9th, at the time of Victory Day celebrations.
По факту они оказались как раз в Сочи в момент празднования Дня Победы.
And there were, big anniversary, festivities, and there were speeches, and there was, they actually, to be honest with you, they were hearing speeches from Moscow, from Red Square, from Moscow on the occasion of Victory Day celebrations. And they were saying actually in the speech, they were saying some things that were critical of American foreign policy.
Это как раз была годовщина Победы, были различные рода празднования, речи, практически как на Красной площади, которые были очень важны для американской иностранной, для политики Америки в области иностранных дел.
And some of the orchestra members understood a little bit of what was being said, but then they asked the translator, what are they saying, just to make sure. And the translator said, well, don't worry about it. They're just calling you warmongers again. As like a joke.
Когда они попросили переводчика перевести произнесенные речи, чтобы убедиться, все ли так, как они поняли, но переводчик сказал, не переживайте, это что-то вроде шутки, ничего страшного не происходит.
And then from here, from Sochi, they went to Leningrad. And in Leningrad, they were treated extremely well. The city of Leningrad, they were saying at the time, still had the scars of war. So still the scars from the siege were still visible, but also they were able to see the Hermitage, they were able to see Peterhof, they were able to see all these wonderful places.
Их очень хорошо приняли в Ленинграде, в котором еще были видны шрамы от осады и нападения. Они успели посмотреть Петергоф, а также Эрмитаж.
And so this kind of demonstrates, this whole tour demonstrates the power of culture in bringing, our cities, our communities together. And hopefully we can enhance such ties with Volgograd.
Это демонстрирует власть культуры, такое взаимоотношение и отношения между различными культурами и странами позволит установить мир.
And also, in addition to enhance, like as Bill was talking about, the political relations between the cities as well, and potentially using our cities as platforms for diplomacy.
Также подобные мероприятия работают в качестве платформ для установления дипломатии.
And so, for example, we have many issues in American-Russian relations right now. First of all, we have arms control. That's a big one, the START treaty, as you know. And then second of all, this issue now with Turkey. Turkey is creating all sorts of problems in the Near East, in the Middle East, and in the Caucasus, as we know, with recent events in Nagorno-Karabakh.
Сейчас существует множество примеров, в которых видно осложнение отношений между разными странами. Мы все знаем ситуации, происходящие в Турции, на Ближнем и Среднем Востоке, на Кавказе, мы все о них знаем.
And so we can use our cities potentially as places to host diplomatic summits, major summits that could produce major peace agreements.
Мы можем использовать наши города в качестве площадки для проведения дипломатических саммитов и установления дружеских отношений и подписания мирных договоров.
There are concrete steps we can take to enhance not only the cultural and political relations, but also our ability to use our cities as platforms for diplomacy.
Осуществление таких мероприятий – это определенный шаг в установлении культурного и политического взаимопонимания.
Okay. Thank you very much again for your time, and I appreciate you having me as part of this program. And again, I would like to thank Yelena for her sponsorship and Yuri Fyodorovich for his, again, wonderful speech. And of course, Bill as well too, and everybody who made this possible. And let us hope from here we can further enhance our relations.
Я хочу поблагодарить всех присутствующих на мероприятии за то, что вы меня выслушали, а также хотел бы выразить особую благодарность Елене и Юрию Федоровичу за проведение такого замечательного мероприятия.
Thank you for your attention.
Петру, большое спасибо. Действительно, культурная дипломатия – это важный элемент. И меня поразило бытность мою в Кливленде, что американцы танцевали русский балет. Это было что-то потрясающее. Это разрушает стереотипы, потому что в мэрии Кливленда американцы танцевали русский балет. Это было что-то потрясающее. И я знаю, что балет, я вот не помню человека, который возглавляет и занимается этим вопросом, но он очень хотел приехать в Волгоград, и мне кажется, что это одно из направлений, куда мы будем движаться, будем развиваться после того, как закончится пандемия. Лена, could you translate?
So I would like to thank you for your speech, and first of all, and further, I would like to give an example that the culture ruined the barriers between the countries, as one day in the administration of Cleveland City, there was a kind of a ballet performance, and that is the kind of a great example of the of that I was mentioned previously, that the culture ruins barriers, political barriers between the countries.
So I just want to mention that Americans danced Russian ballet. That was amazing.
Да, soгласен.
Thank you. It was a really amazing thing.
Пожалуйста.
Yeah, I have to speak Russian. That's why я должна говорить по-русски, как модератор в этом случае. Иногда позволяю себе говорить на английском. Я хочу предоставить слово моему другому партнеру и другу из Кливленда, как раз руководителю Совета по международным программам безопасности, который расскажет нам о сотрудничестве Кливленда и Волгограда. о партнерских связях и программах. Lisa, you're welcome. Make translation.
So now I would like to invite my colleague and friend, Miss Lisa Pardee, the president of Council of International Programs in USA in Cleveland. So Lisa, you're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm honored to be on this panel, and it's really delightful to see so many familiar faces, both from Russia and the United States. I am going to talk about the Russian experience in Cleveland. That's what Elena asked me to do. So I'm going to talk about how we host our delegations and everything that we do to welcome our Russian friends in Cleveland. I did construct a PowerPoint, and if you don't mind, I will share my screen with you.
We don't mind.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
Я рада приветствовать всех присутствующих на данном заседании, видеть ваши глаза, несмотря на ситуацию нас разделяющую. И сегодня я собираюсь рассказывать об опыте русских граждан в Кливленде.
Okay, everybody can see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I'm first just going to tell you a little bit about CIP, the Council of International Programs. We are an international nonprofit organization. We have been in Cleveland, Ohio for the past 64 years. Our goal and purpose of our program is to bring communities and people together to gain a better understanding of one another by immersing in local communities and host families. We facilitate professional internships. We administer various grants in programs that revolve around social justice or civil society themes. And we also support student learning programs for both US students and students from abroad.
Я хочу представить международную миссию Совета по международным программам. Построение взаимопонимания с помощью программ профессионального развития и межкультурного обмена. Она существует уже как 64 года в Огайо и включает в себя различного рода профессиональные стажировки, социальные программы, а также гранты и учебные стипендии.
So let's start talking about two great cities on two great rivers. The top picture, of course, is Volgograd along the Volga River, and the bottom picture is our city, Cleveland, along our Cuyahoga River. So definitely you can see a lot of similarities just in the pictures themselves.
Я хочу начать презентацию с демонстрации двух городов и двух великих рек. Как видите, на первой картинке изображен Волгоград и на второй Кливленд. Вы видите много общего в образе обоих городов.
So Cleveland is so fortunate to have not just one organization, but three organizations that work together to promote our sister cities' relationship with Volgograd. There's actually quite a few more that help support our relationship, but the ones that I will talk about today are the Greater Cleveland Volgograd Oblast Alliance. And this organization is founded and headed by Ken Kovac, whom many of you know. Do you want to translate or do you want me to keep going?
Okay, so we translate. Я хочу также представить три организации, которые усердно работают над реализацией установления программы партнерских городов-побратимов. Как видите, здесь они как раз перечислены. Союз Кливленда и Волгоградской области, глобальный Кливленд и Совет международных программ США.
The second organization that I'd like to recognize would also be Global Cleveland, headed by Joe Simperman.
Вторая организация, представленная на слайде, это Global Cleveland, глобальный Кливленд.
CIP works closely with these two organizations along with many of our community partners in the city to host our Volgograd delegations when they come. Creating a bridge connecting our two cities would not be possible without these organizations.
Данная организация вносит вклад в установление партнерских отношений и усиление связи наших городов.
Just a little history about how CIP became involved with hosting Volgograd delegations. We were fortunate enough to work with our fabulous partner, Open World. And through our Open World relationship that we began in 2012, we were able to host 45 delegates from Volgograd in 9 delegations. And they came in to Cleveland to learn how we operate in a variety of fields, from education to City Hall administration. Go ahead.
Программа «Открытый мир» помогли построить отношения между нашими городами-побратимами Кливлендом и Волгоградом. Совет по международным программам принял свою первую делегацию из Волгограда в рамках данной программы в 2012 году. 45 делегатов из Волгограда приехали в Кливленд в составе 9 делегаций. А в сентябре 2020 года стартовала программа виртуального обмена.
And in September 2020, I'll go to my next slide, we were able to host our first virtual exchange program.
Как раз на следующем слайде вы видите старт нашей программы виртуального обмена и ее виртуальных участников.
Unfortunately, we had to do virtual just because of the COVID-19. They were supposed to come in, I think it was April of 2020, but unfortunately it did not work out, but hopefully we'll be able to see them soon, whether it's in 2021 or 2022.
К сожалению, они планировали приехать лично, возможно, где-то в апреле 2020 года, но из-за пандемии COVID-19 нам пришлось встретиться виртуально. Но я все же не бросаю надежду увидеть их лично в 2021 или, возможно, в 2022 году.
And this particular delegation from Volgograd were in the education field. So we were able to connect with a local school district. The superintendent from Sugar Falls, Ohio, was able to speak to the group regarding COVID and how it affected our school systems.
Данная программа также связала, имела образовательные корни. Мы поговорили о том, как пандемия COVID повлияла на наши жизни и какой, в принципе, эффект оказала на образование и нашу жизнь и культуру в целом.
And speakers included Ken Kovac, Joe Simperman from Global Cleveland, and as well as a representative from Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur's office.
Среди участников были представители Global Cleveland.
Okay. So we begin each of our programs with our delegates from Volgograd by, of course, connecting with Ken Kovac, who I think otherwise known as Father Volgograd in Cleveland, Ohio, who discusses at the beginning of every program about the importance of the sister city relationship between Cleveland and Volgograd and the history and how we want to continue it. He also talks about whatever theme, just to give a background to our delegates. The pictures that you see in particular are some of my favorites. we had one delegation come to Cleveland and they didn't even know about Ken, or at least so I thought, but no, they did know about Ken and his wonderful reputation, because look, they put his face on a t-shirt and brought it to him. So it's one of my favorite photos. You will also see he takes the group to the cultural Russian garden, and also to other points of interest regarding the Russian heritage in Cleveland, such as our library and St. Theodosius Orthodox Cathedral.
В один из таких приездов делегация в Кливленде посетила много памятных мест, и на слайдах представлены фотографии с визитов в парк, в библиотеку, и, как видите, есть даже футболка с фотографией одного из делегатов.
In addition to meeting with Ken, we also take our groups to visit Cleveland City Council. We always try to make sure that we have a connection to City Council or the Mayor's office, and make sure that our delegates always have an opportunity to talk with city officials, to engage with them, and strengthen, again, our relationship between Cleveland and Volgograd.
Мы также пригласили делегатов в городскую администрацию Кливленда, и они приняли участие в беседе с представителями администрации, чиновниками, и, возможно, эти разговоры позволят установить мирные отношения в большей мере.
And the next component of our programs when delegates come is the professional learning component. And in these pictures, you will see the picture to the left is with Chris Renane, who's the president of University Circle Incorporated. He was discussing city planning with a group from Volgograd. And on the right, it was another group, and they were discussing city services with a local fire department.
Данный слайд представляет следующий компонент нашей программы – это профессиональное обучение. Слева вы видите группу в лаборатории, обсуждающей городское планирование. А на фотографии справа группа обсуждает городские услуги, услуги города.
In these photographs, on the picture on the left is a group visiting with a crisis communications company, and on the right, it's a delegation visiting our local newspaper, the Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Как видите, на следующем слайде представлено посещение в местную газету Кливленда.
A major part of our program is to share American culture and host family living with our groups. This particular group came during Halloween, and we, of course, had a Halloween party for them. In addition, we couldn't pass up taking them to the Spooky Pooch Parade, which is in Lakewood, Ohio. If you see the picture on the right, there's dogs. As you know, many Americans love their dogs and dress them up. So this was a parade just for those special pooches. Do you want to translate?
Следующий компонент – это культура и обучение вместе взятые. Мы взяли нашу делегацию на праздник в честь Дня Хэллоуина. И, как вы видите, это фотографии, с правой стороны есть фотография с парада Вагая. Там есть очень милые собачки, такие есть у многих жителей города. И, как вы видите, многие из представителей на фотографии одеты в костюмы.
We also take them to important sites in Cleveland, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but Cleveland is home to Superman. So we always make sure that we take a group photo whenever they arrive in Cleveland. And to the right, you will see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is another favorite spot to visit while guests are here.
Я не знаю, знаете ли вы или нет, но Кливленд является родиной Супермена. Естественно, мы сфотографировались на его фоне, как только прибыли в Кливленд. А с правой стороны видите фотографию одного из известных холлов рок-н-ролла, в которой мы тоже сфотографировались. Она очень известна.
Building sister cities relationships. It's important to know that Global Cleveland has helped revive the city of Cleveland sister cities relationships. One way they have achieved this is by hosting the first Sister Cities Conference in Cleveland, Ohio. And the picture on the left is a group of Volgograd, from Volgograd. Actually, it was Elena's group, and we were visiting Joe and Elizabeth at their offices, the Global Cleveland offices. And we always make sure that we visit Global Cleveland on our programs.
Мы много работаем над установлением отношений между городами-побратимами. В том числе следует отметить, что мы провели первую конференцию городов-побратимов в Огайо в 2019 году. И на фотографии вы видите группу из Волгограда, в частности, это группа под руководством Елены.
This slide shows our first 2019 Global Cleveland Sister Cities Conference. It was held in May. We were fortunate enough to have our delegation come at the same time as our Sister Cities Conference. So it was a delight, and Elena was able to be on the panel for education.
В мае 2019 года состоялась конференция городов-побратимов, и благодаря небольшой задержке Елене удалось принять участие в пленарном заседании.
And later in 2019, I was able to attend the Sister Cities Conference held by Volgograd State University and the Center for Public Diplomacy. And it was a wonderful experience. I was able to be on the panel today. And in my hand, you will see it was a proclamation from the city of Cleveland City Council on the wonderful event.
Как видите, на этих фотографиях присутствует делегация из Кливленда здесь, в Волгограде. И справа как раз вы видите меня.
So in 2020, we went virtual. Global Cleveland hosted the Sister Cities Conference virtually. And we had many different panels, but this panel was a very interesting panel because it was the International Youth Panel, where they brought various high schools together from different sister cities. We have here shown it's St. Edward's School, and we have our Volgograd Lyceum School. And I believe they're going to be talking later in the panel, so I will let them discuss this. But basically, between the discussion, it was on the environment from the Russian delegation, and then from the Cleveland delegation, they created a website discussing the similarities and differences between our two cities.
В этом году состоялась конференция среди молодых участников, где выступали представители старшей школы. В том числе был шум из St. Edward's, а также лицей 9 из Волгограда, который, я надеюсь, чуть позднее на пленарном заседании также выступят. Между обсуждением, я надеюсь, продемонстрировать созданный участниками веб-сайт, где они обсуждают сходства и различия между нашими городами и культурами.
Future programs. I just wanted to announce, just so you know, that the next Sister Cities Conference in Cleveland will be in October the 11th through 15th in 2021. And I believe this one will be virtual. Hopefully the 4th annual conference, we will be able to be back together face to face, and that'll be in November. So put those on your calendar, those dates on your calendar. Just so you know, CIP along with Global Cleveland and the Sister Cities Volgograd Alliance here in Cleveland, as well as with Elena and the Public Diplomacy Center, have talked about how can we create more programs? How can we work together in the future? Because we just don't want our long history just to go nowhere. So we have talked about library exchanges, and I know that some things have already been done regarding the library in Cleveland with the library in Volgograd in doing an exhibit exchange. But we were also talking about the possibility of actually exchanging librarians between our two cities. Another exchange that we were thinking about is an artist exchange, whether it be painters, poets, dancers, it doesn't really matter. But we do think, I believe as Elena and Pietro have all said, that culture is really a way to break down barriers. And if you look at the photograph there, that is a picture of a sister city mural that was created between Cleveland and its sister city in France. And so what we hope to do in the future, and we have just talked about it, and we're hoping that we can put this together, is also to have a sister city mural between Volgograd and Cleveland. So we hope that that can go through. We're also definitely working on school exchanges as well as university exchanges. Ideally, we would love to do an exchange between the two universities with classroom, virtual classroom, or in-person classroom exchanges, possibly teacher exchanges, and also perhaps having university students, both from Cleveland and from Russia, or Volgograd, sorry, doing an actual internship exchange during the summertime. I think that could be a strong possibility once we're allowed to see each other face to face again.
Хотелось бы теперь рассказать о планируемых программах. Следующая конференция городов-побратимов планируется 11-15 октября 2021 года, но, полагаю, она все-таки будет в виртуальном формате. А вот следующая, 4-я конференция в ноябре 2022 года, мы надеемся, будет в реальном формате, мы сможем друг с другом пообщаться как в жизни. Поэтому запишите данную дату в календарь. Мы также обсуждали с Еленой различные способы достижения обменов культурой. Как до этого Пьетро и Елена отметили, культура является определенным способом разрушить барьеры между нашими странами. Мы обсуждали такие варианты, как обмен, библиотечный обмен. Это обмен выставками, а также библиотекарями. Как вариант мы рассматривали обмен артистами, представителями культурной сферы, певцами, художниками, танцорами. Род деятельности их, в принципе, не имеет особого значения. Кроме того, есть определенные подвижки в организации школьных университетских обменов, таких как, в том числе, виртуальных обменов и личных обменов, обменов студентами, а также преподавателями. Такие программы планируются в виде стажировок в летнее время в Кливленде и в Волгограде.
And I do hope that Ken and Joe both have an opportunity in the discussion time to really talk about some of these ideas that I just highlighted. I'm sure they can go deeper into them.
Я надеюсь, будет возможность во время дискуссии обсудить такие позиции.
And I'd just like to end with, I do believe these programs are definitely public diplomacy programs. To me, they're friendship programs. I've created so many friends by hosting these wonderful delegates from Volgograd. I have a wonderful understanding now of Volgograd and Russia, and I believe with all my heart that programs like these really bring us together, one handshake at a time. And so I'd just like to end that. I hope that I can continue in any way possible, creating more friendships between our two cities.
И хотелось бы завершить мой рассказ надеждой на прочную дружбу в будущем. Я встретила очень много надежных друзей, пока принимала делегатов из Волгограда. И я хочу сказать от всего сердца, что такие программы способны привлечь к нам очень много друзей со стороны и установить партнерские связи между нашими городами и гражданами. Большое вам спасибо.
Лиза, огромная благодарность за вашу работу, за то, что вы делаете. Я не буду очень много говорить, но у меня тоже есть небольшая презентация. Я постараюсь показать отчасти, вы говорили об этом, но хотелось бы все-таки тоже обратить внимание. Так, давай ко мне сразу.
So, Lisa, your speech was of much appreciation, and I heartily thank you very much. And for now, I have also the presentation that I'm going to present right now.
So you can see the work about the Center of Public Diplomacy. Anya, could you? And our partners. Our partners.
Здесь вы можете видеть герб Центра общественной дипломатии, а также партнеров города Волгограда.
Okay. You can see Cleveland as well.
И также вы можете видеть здесь Кливленд.
And there are some events. Вот несколько мероприятий, где принимали участие Петра, Лиза, Билл. Это было в прошлом году, диалог на Волге.
And here you can see the event where Joe, Elizabeth, and Lisa participated last year during the International Forum of Public Diplomacy Dialogue on the Volga in 2019.
Вы можете увидеть выступление Петра.
You can see the performance of Pietro here on this slide.
Я дальше просто показываю, что у нас очень много разных делегаций, в том числе из Японии. Вот если говорить о Кливленде, это мое участие в первой конференции городов-побратимов Кливленда.
So here I briefly switched on the slides and shows that we have a great variety of conferences and partners. And as we are talking about the Cleveland, here you can see the photos of my visit to the first Sister Cities conference in Cleveland.
Я представляла Волгоградский государственный университет и Центр общественной дипломатии на образовательной панели.
And on behalf of Volgograd State University, I presented our university and the Center of Public Diplomacy.
Во время визита у нас были встречи в Кливлендском университете с деканами факультетов.
And during my visit, we also visited the Cleveland University and met the faculty deans.
Встреча в мэрии Кливленда и в офисе Global Cleveland.
We met the representatives in the mayor's office and besides with the president of Global Cleveland and his team.
А это наиболее, наверное, запоминающийся момент 3 мая, когда был учрежден День русскоязычного Russian Community Day в городе Кливленд.
And probably the most remarkable and memorable day was the 3rd of May in 2019, when there was founded and established the Russian Community Day.
И то, что я говорила, вот как раз русский балет в мэрии Кливленда по случаю установления праздника вот Russian Community Day в Кливленде, 3 мая.
And that is what I was talking about previously, about the ballet, and that was on the 3rd of May.
И обратите внимание на то, что российский флаг висит в мэрии Кливленда, это было в прошлом году, и над мэрией Кливленда также был вывешен российский флаг.
And please pay attention that the flag of the Russian Federation was hung in the mayor's office in Cleveland and outside as well.
Я могу сказать, что это моя уже дружная семья кливлендская, потому что мы действительно поддерживаем на постоянной основе контакты и принимаем участие в конференциях с разных сторон, как кливлендских, так и волгоградских.
I want to say and underline that we are already a friendly family and we contact and communicate on the constant basis, and we participate in different conferences in Cleveland and in Volgograd as well.
Лиза уже отметила proclamation, который она привезла и вручала заместителю губернатора Волгоградской области Анне Писемской.
And Lisa has already noted the declaration that was presented in Volgograd during the forum in last year.
Небольшая культурная программа. Мы показывали, как вообще что можно посмотреть в городе в Кливленде. Лиза и Петру давали интервью на радио. И также у них была интересная культурная программа, где мы немножко заставляли поработать.
That was a kind of a cultural aspect and cultural program where we showed what you can see in Cleveland, and Lisa and Pietro took part in this program.
И пандемия внесла корректировки в наши планы. У нас теперь проходят мероприятия онлайн. Это наш рабочий семинар со школой Edwards High School. Как раз мы обсуждаем создание нашего сайта. И здесь присутствует также Лизбет из Global Cleveland. Как вы можете видеть, ее плохо здесь видно на фотографии, но Global Cleveland тоже присутствовал на этом мероприятии, так же, как и школа.
And we all know that the current situation does not allow us to meet face-to-face, and this working seminar was online, the seminar with St. Edward's High School. And here we discuss our website creation. And you also can see, probably it's not clear, but you can see the representatives of Global Cleveland here.
Здесь также принимали участие студенты и школьники из Кливленда и Волгограда.
And this seminar was also attended by the students and even pupils from the schools of Volgograd and Cleveland.
Я не буду останавливаться на конференции Sister Cities Volgograd Cleveland. Лиза уже об этом говорила. И хотелось бы остановиться на нашем сайте и продемонстрировать, что же нам удалось сделать сегодня.
I will not pay much attention to the moment that Lisa was talking about previously, and now I would like to pay attention more to the website that was made.
Сайт – это совместная работа. На конференции, готовились к конференции sister cities. Мы с Global Cleveland, с представителями Global Cleveland пришли к такому мнению, что нам нужно создать совместный продукт.
This website is a joint project, our joint project and the project of Global Cleveland, and we came to the decision that we need to make some joint project.
Это не только, то есть этот сайт работа большого количества людей, как со стороны Кливленда, так и с Волгограда. И первоначально создавал сам сайт, был создан как раз заместителем декана колледжа Святого Эдварда Николасом Кухаром. И с нашей стороны принимали участие как Центр общественной дипломатии, также и Яковлев Александр, который расскажет о нашей работе чуть позже. Ну вот на сегодняшний день это проект на вашего сайта, то, что частично сделано, но то, что мы бы хотели, чтобы было заполнено и в будущем, и развивалось. Итак.
This website is the joint hard work of many representatives of Cleveland and Volgograd, and the participants during the creations were the acting dean of St. Edward's High School and the representatives of the Center for Public Diplomacy of Volgograd State University, and besides the Alexander Yakovlev, who will speak a bit further.
Ну, как вы видите, здесь можно увидеть информацию о Кливленде, if you click here.
As you can see, you can notice the information about Cleveland here.
Just to wait a bit, minutes of time. You can see some information about Cleveland. And here you can see about the history, information for tourists, for teenagers, university life, and Russians in Cleveland. I hope Pietro will help us with Russians in Cleveland. There is special point that you should also add information here. It's a Cleveland part. Then Nicholas have already put some information here. You may see some information about Cleveland, but I think it's not enough. Of course, it's not enough to make sure to know what is going on in Cleveland right now. And here you can see Volgograd presentation. What we can show you here, some information exactly about Volgograd, about the city, about the history. Also, you may just see the Center for Public Diplomacy. And you can see also information about the city. Oh, really? Я так понимаю, что сайт не виден.
Нет, не виден.
Я не знаю, это очень... Just a minute. Да, сейчас. Just a minute, we will try.
We're a bit sorry for some technical problems.
Переживайте, Елена Федоровна.
Ничего.
Мы покажем, собственно говоря, интерактивную сторону. Не переживайте.
We are very sorry.
Ничего.
Просим прощения, уважаемые участники.
Ничего.
Да, извините. Здесь начать.
Есть? Есть. I'm sorry for this technical problem. Just I will be in short, but now I hope you can see it. Can you see it? It's my pleasure.
Видно ли сайт?
Thank you. So you may see the homepage. There is some information. You can see the pictures of two cities. If you click here, you may see some information about Cleveland. And I hope everything is fine. This information about the history, information for tourists, for teenagers, university life, and Russians in Cleveland. Nick has already added some information about Cleveland and Volgograd, but I think it's not enough. You may see there are only a few pages. It's about Cleveland, so this Cleveland part. If you click here, you may see the information devoted to Volgograd, history of Volgograd, also history, tourists, teenagers, university life, and the Center of Public Diplomacy. Information about the city, historical facts as well. You can see some videos presenting our city. It's really interesting. If you click here, you may see the video and our tourist sites and so on and so on. There is a special part devoted to Cleveland and Volgograd. There is we have not had any time just to put in this information, but I think in the future we will definitely do it. And the gallery, you may see there are only some pictures, but we are still working on the site. And in this case, I want you also to share your ideas. And I hope Joy is here, Ken is here, Lisa, what we can do to make it work, how to make it work together, because I think that it's a unique product. I don't know whether other cities, sister cities have something like this, but I think it was a very good idea. And we did our best to put some information, and we are ready to work and improve this site. And in this case, I would like our team from Cleveland also to pay attention. I know that we are all very busy, but if all of you share your ideas and maybe share some material, it will be really a good product. Okay, and I think that we may think and exchange our views a bit later. And because we are lack of time, I would like to give, I would like to ask Yakovlev Alexander just to say some few words about the work we did while we were preparing for this site and other activities. Alexander, the floor is yours. Я закрываю, да? Alex, are you ready? But you should. We can't hear you.
Okay, now thank you. And now, hello everyone. I'm Alex. Let me introduce my creative team.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Алекс. Позвольте мне представить свою креативную команду.
Oksana Maletina, candidate of Philological Science, assistant professor at the Department of Germanic and Romanic Philology, Volgograd State University.
Оксана Малетина, кандидат филологических наук, доцент кафедры германской и романской филологии Волгоградского государственного университета.
And our students, Denis Tishin and Daria Железникова.
А также наших студентов Денис Тишин, а также Дарья Железнякова.
Nowadays, there are many different information products in the field of education, science, and creative technologies.
Существует большое количество проектов и продуктов в области информационной науки и информационных технологий.
Unfortunately, there are not any information products in the field of international relations and international websites with different countries.
К сожалению, существует не так много информационных продуктов с информацией об международных отношениях и связях между различными странами.
Today, we would like to present our common information product, which was created together with our American partners from Cleveland.
Сегодня я хочу представить наш совместный информационный продукт, который мы создали вместе с нашими партнерами из Америки, из Кливленда.
We will also be waiting for your new ideas, suggestions and comments. Are you ready? Let's go.
А также мы будем рады, если вы выскажете свои комментарии, предложения, пожелания по нашей работе. Готовы ли к нашему проекту?
Okay, now. Yesterday, we couldn't even imagine that connection between cities can be so simple.
Вчера мы даже не могли представить, что общение между городами-побратимами может быть настолько простым.
Nowadays, technologies are developing, communication is accessible for people living in different parts of the world.
Сегодня современные технологии доступны любым людям, находящимся в разных точках нашего мира.
There are a lot of sister-city relationships, but all of them are not so warm.
Существует много взаимоотношений между городами-побратимами, однако не все из них являются очень дружественными.
The development has slowed down.
Развитие немножко замедляется в этом случае.
There is not impulse for strengthening relationships.
Нет яркого импульса, задора в начинании таких отношений.
We think that the creation of our common product between cities could become such an impulse.
Мы надеемся, что созданный нами продукт станет таким импульсом для запуска дружеских взаимоотношений между городами.
Well, what could this product be?
В чем же наш продукт?
While living in the era of technological progress, the world is confidently dominated by the digital space, the internet.
Живя в эпоху цифровых технологий, мир давлеет под цифровыми технологиями и интернетом.
Just imagine how it could be great to have a common digital platform.
Представьте, как это может быть замечательно, если у нас будет с вами единая коммуникативная платформа.
That platform that would allow both cities to describe and create events to keep and distribute facts about their history.
Такая платформа позволит городам обмениваться информацией друг о друге и культурными событиями.
The platform that would be a place for available international collaboration.
Такая платформа станет основой для создания международной коллаборации.
What if I told you that the space already exists?
Что если я скажу вам, что такое пространство уже существует?
Hello. This is our site between sister cities. Right now, it is actively used by students, teachers, and people who are interested in international relations. Our website has 5 sections. 2 only are about cities with interesting and relevant information, a gallery, a section about project between cities, and a blog with news. We hope this site is easy to be used by everyone, and we're eager to straighten the twinning relationships between 2 cities. Our team slogan is the following: efficiency and quality.
Позвольте представить наш проект. Данный сайт содержит 5 основных разделов. Информация о городах Кливленд, Волгоград, о совместном проекте, а также галерея с наиболее интересными фотографиями. Данный проект используется студентами, преподавателями по всему миру, кто интересуется движением городов-побратимов. Наш девиз – эффективность и качество.
Creative group from Cleveland, Volgograd State University, Center of Public Diplomacy start working on creating the website.
Креативная группа нашего проекта из Кливленда и Волгограда, а также Центр общественной дипломатии начали работу над сайтом.
Now the site has pages about both cities, blog with the latest news, gallery with photo reports from recent meetings and conferences.
Данный проект имеет страницы об обоих городах, блог с самыми актуальными новостями, а также галерею, содержащую фотографии и отчеты с наиболее недавних мероприятий и конференций.
That is great, but everybody knows the resource including online information does not attract many people.
Это здорово, но мы знаем, что ресурс, содержащий только информацию, не является таким эффективным.
That is why we're gonna make interactive educational part at the same time without leaving in the general theme of the website.
Таким образом, мы создали небольшую интерактивную образовательную часть, не покидая основной идеи сотрудничества между Кливлендом и Волгоградом.
Quests and tests are aimed at learning English and Russian, history and culture of both countries.
Квесты и задачи нацелены на изучение английского и русского, истории и культуры обоих стран.
Everything depends on desire to start a promising project, and we have managed to realize.
Все зависит от желания начать замечательный проект, и мы начали его реализовывать.
This information product website gives us the opportunity to build a dialogue between two teams.
Позволяет нам выстроить взаимоотношения между двумя командами.
Teams from the USA and Russia, Volgograd and Cleveland.
Команды из Америки и России, Кливленда и Волгограда.
Thanks to our head of the product, Елена Perbote, and our American partners from Cleveland.
Благодаря руководству нашего руководителя проекта Елене Федоровне Порубочи и нашим партнерам из Кливленда.
We were able to achieve many successes in the field of international relations.
Позволяет выстраивать тесные международные взаимоотношения.
Education and science.
Также в области образования и науки.
We are ready to cooperate with the new members in the work ahead.
Мы также будем рады взаимодействовать с новыми членами нашей команды и новыми идеями.
In my opinion, this information product provides an opportunity to create partnership relations between Russia and the United States, as well as gives the right to develop in the field of education and relationships and communication, of course.
Данный проект позволяет выстроить общественные отношения между Россией и Соединенными Штатами Америки, а также создаст определенную платформу для общей образовательной идеи и коммуникации в сфере культуры.
American and Russian students can share the educational and interesting products, materials, and develop bilateral relations between the United States and Russia.
Американские и русские студенты могут обмениваться идеей и информацией по теме проекта.
Thank you for your attention. Let's work together.
Спасибо за ваше внимание. Давайте работать вместе.
Друзья, Александр, спасибо большое. Вы видите, что у нас очень большие возможности, большое желание работать и создавать интересные платформы. Конечно, мы уже вышли за пределы нашего времени, но тем не менее я хочу все-таки дать возможность высказаться нашим партнерам и Нилу Даффиту, и нашей скажем так, другая часть нашей деятельности – это вот совместные проекты, и они зародились благодаря вот как раз личным встречам на форуме общественной дипломатии.
So thank you very much, Alexander. And this shows the great opportunity for us to extend our cooperation. And this platform is not an exception. And I would like also, I know that we are short of time, but I would like to invite Neil Duffett with his presentation about the cooperation between the cities and joint projects.
Я одну секунду скажу, что этот проект зародился, когда мы собрались на форуме в прошлом году, ровно год назад, и мы решили объединиться, сделать проект не только между Волгоградом и Кливлендом, а соединить две пары городов. То есть это общий проект Волгоград, Кливленд, Архангельск, Портленд. И, к сожалению, вот из-за ковида мы вынуждены его отложить, но была потрясающая идея создать проект на 4 города. Я прошу Нила немного про него рассказать.
So I would like to say that this project was found 1 year ago during the previous forum, and this project is going to unite 2 pairs of cities, in particular Volgograd and Cleveland, and Arkhangelsk and Portland. But due to the COVID-19, we have to postpone this project a bit. And now I would like Neil Duffett to present the project.
Thank you, Lena.
Спасибо, Елена.
My name is Neil, and I am in the city of Portland in the state of Maine in the United States. We are on the northeast corner of the United States on the Atlantic Ocean.
Здравствуйте, позвольте представиться. Меня зовут Нил, и я из Портленда, штат Мэн.
And our sister city is Arkhangelsk in Russia, in northwest Russia on the White Sea.
Наш город-побратим Архангельск находится на северо-западе России.
And we have been sister cities, official sister cities, since 1988.
Мы являемся официальными городами-побратимами с 1988 года.
At last year's forum in Volgograd, representatives of Arkhangelsk met with Lena and decided that perhaps we could do a joint project, that both pairs of sister cities, because we have such a good history together.
В прошлом году на форуме мы встретились с представителями из всех городов и встретились также с Еленой, с которой мы задумали проект на 4 города, который смог бы стать еще одной вехой в этапе сотрудничества.
We realized that our relationship began in the Great Patriotic War. Huge factories in Cleveland produced large amounts of war supplies.
Еще во время Великой Отечественной войны в Портленде огромные фабрики производили военное оборудование.
Huge shipyards here in Portland constructed many cargo ships called Liberty ships for Lend-Lease.
В Портленде здесь производились огромные корабли, называемых Liberty ships.
The cargoes were loaded onto the Liberty ships and taken to North Russia, ports of Arkhangelsk and Murmansk.
Эти корабли шли на север России, в Архангельск и Мурманск.
And the war supplies were unloaded there at those ports and taken to the front. Many of these supplies went to the Battle of Stalingrad.
Военное оборудование выгружалось там и направлялось на фронт. В том числе и военное оборудование участвовало и при битве под Сталинградом.
So our proposal is to construct conferences in each of the 4 cities based on our mutual friendship in the past and our hopes for future friendship in the future.
Поэтому хотелось создать проект, который основывается на нашем общем историческом прошлом, а также на будущей долговременной дружбе.
We had hoped that that would be in-person exchanges, but COVID, the coronavirus, makes that difficult. Although Alexander's presentation of his website gives us lots of ideas of what we might be able to do virtually.
Надеялись установить личный контакт, но, к сожалению, пандемия ковида нам немного помешала. Однако мы увидели презентацию Александра, и она принесла нам несколько ценных идей о том, что мы могли бы успеть сделать, пока мы находимся на удалении друг от друга.
I'd just like to make one last personal observations about sister city relationships.
Позвольте сделать одно из замечаний по поводу установления взаимоотношений между городами-побратимами.
I think we need to think about sisters a little bit more, take it a little bit farther than that.
Нам следует подумать о побратимах гораздо более глубоко, чем мы привыкли это делать.
Between our sister cities, Portland and Arkhangelsk, over the last 30 years, more than 1,000 people have traveled back and forth.
За последние 30 лет около 1000 человек пропутешествовали между Архангельском и Портландом.
For example, the mayor of Arkhangelsk was in my home a year ago this week.
К примеру, мэр Архангельска на этой неделе был у меня дома.
So many people have traveled back and forth between our communities that Arkhangelsk is just another part of Portland, and Portland is just another part of Arkhangelsk.
Между этими двумя городами путешествует так много людей, что Портленд стал частью Архангельска, а Архангельск — Портленда.
So when delegations go from Arkhangelsk to Portland, we greet them, but we don't say welcome to Maine. We don't say welcome to Portland.
Делегация приезжает из Архангельска в Портленд, и мы им очень рады. Однако мы никогда не говорим «добро пожаловать в Мэн, добро пожаловать в Портленд».
We say welcome home because we think our cities have become one.
Мы говорим «добро пожаловать домой», потому что нам кажется, что наши города стали единым целым.
And I think that's a goal that we should all keep in mind for the future. It's a vision of unity for the future. And спасибо большое.
Стоит держать это во внимании на будущее, поскольку это важная черта взаимоотношений между двумя городами. И огромное вам спасибо. Thank you.
Marina, would you like to say something? Because you're a representative of Arkhangelsk. Just few words.
Добрый день, я очень рада всех приветствовать. Благодарю за приглашение на онлайн-конференцию. И действительно надеюсь, что этот проект, который мы задумали на 4 города, действительно будет не только рассказывать о нашем историческом прошлом, но также мы найдем точки соприкосновения на будущее. И обязательно привлечем молодежь, и те примеры, которые были представлены, действительно дают нам разные мысли на новые идеи.
Dear guests, thank you very much, and I welcome all of you from all my heart. And I would like to say that this project for 4 cities is unique, and this can not only tell us about the past, but also give us some new prospects and views for the future to appeal and attract the youth and to contribute to the realization of the partnership and cooperation and then bring new ideas. Thank you very much.
И перед тем, как я передам слово нашему последнему спикеру, я хочу все-таки поблагодарить Нилу за такие теплые слова, потому что ваши слова так греют душу. Мы сейчас много что смотрим и видим по телевизору об Америке, американцах, но это вот реальная, действительно общественная дипломатия, пускай даже онлайн, когда мы можем услышать такие теплые слова и такое желание дружить и выстраивать отношения.
But first of all, I would like to say thank you, Neil, for such warm words that melt our heart during these times, during the news about the current news and the current situation. And this public diplomacy gives us the opportunity to discuss and to hear each other.
Just, Neil, just my idea was that there are a lot of stereotypes about USA, about Americans, and while we are communicating together with you and hear your warm welcome words, it just make us think another way about America and Americans. Just that was my idea. And я позволю себе все-таки продолжить и дать возможность рассказать вот о деятельности общественной организации «Русский культурный дом», потому что в Кливленде очень большая диаспора, не зря мы говорим о том, что там учрежден праздник Russian Community Day, и о деятельности русской культурной организации нам расскажет как раз Светлана Федорова, которая с радостью согласилась рассказать о том, чем они занимаются в Кливленде. Светлана, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone. Добрый день. I was in doubt what language to use for my presentation. So I will share the screen now and I will show the presentation that I prepared in Russian and I will speak English. I think it will make it easier, right? So every side will understand it. And I am the founder, one of the founders and the president of the Russian Cultural Garden in Cleveland. And I want, can you see my screen now?
Yes, you can, we can.
Oh, excellent. So very good. So the Russian Cultural Garden in Cleveland, it's a part of the Cleveland Cultural Gardens Federation. It's absolutely unique entity, the unique in the world. And we always say that Cleveland is the city of the best kept secrets. And one of the best kept secrets in Cleveland is the cultural gardens. And the cultural gardens have been founded back in the 19th century. Actually, the whole idea of it started back in the 19th century when John D. Rockefeller just presented and donated the land to the city of Cleveland. And it was his gift to the city for the centennial anniversary of the city. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of the city between Lake Erie and University Circle. In 1916, the first cultural garden was established. It was at that point, it was a Shakespeare garden, which is now the British Garden. And later in the at the end 20th and 30th, the conglomerate of different gardens was built. So the whole idea of these gardens is that the ethnic communities of the city of Cleveland, and you know, the Cleveland is a multicultural, multinational city. We have like over 150 different nationalities living in one city. And the communities, different communities that have a good representation in the city, getting funds, efforts, and build the cultural garden to present the culture of the nation to the other residents of Cleveland, or to other visitors. And it became a chain of like multicultural presentations that actually became a model for the United Nations somehow. It's the people's democracy in action. And the history of like over 100-year history of this movement is so wonderful, and it's so important nowadays when we live in the times of turmoil and sometimes hate, sometimes misunderstanding. And the whole philosophy and the idea of the cultural gardens of Cleveland is peace through mutual understanding of differences. I want to ask, do we need to translate, or you can read what is in my Russian part? What do you think?
Позвольте уточнить, стоит нам переводить презентацию, или вы все можете прочитать со слайда?
I don't need any translation, but if there
I think it's easy, right? Because I just speak English. What is written in Russian? So there was about 30 different gardens of 30 different nationalities in our federation, and there was no Russian cultural garden. Although the history of Russian community goes back to the 19th century, and the community, I can say it used to be too big, but it was significant, but it's never been a cultural garden. So back in 2011, not too long time ago, the small group of enthusiasts decided to start the garden. And it was me, myself, and my friend, Dr. Boris Vinogradsky and Sergey Lebed. Three of us formed the nonprofit organization. And we started promoting the idea of the cultural gardens to the Russian community, the idea of necessity of building the Russian garden. And of course, because it's totally grassroots movement. So the whole garden is being constructed and maintained and developed using the funds that we raise from people like you and me. So people donate like $20, $50, $500, $1,000, and it's not a cheap project, I can tell you. So it took time. It took time to convince people that it's really needed. And in 2016, we came to the point when we could start the construction. So you can see on the pictures the groundbreaking ceremony, which was in 2016 on the upper pictures. And unfortunately, it took longer because of some technical issues. And only in 2018, we finally built phase 1 of our garden. And the garden could be officially dedicated. And it was a huge, huge achievement of the Russian community. And the big thing about these gardens is that despite we use our own funds and our own organization to contract the landscapers, the construction workers, the artists, and all the people whose talent is used to build the garden itself belongs to the city of Cleveland. So it's a gift from the community to the city. And it's a great sign of the maturity of the ethnic community and of our appreciation of this great city. In 2018, we actually built phase 1, and phase 1 was the Walk of Fame, the entry plaza, and the walkways on the perimeter of the whole garden. And you can see like the construction process. So we did it with our own hands. And Walk of Fame of the Russian culture is the chain of the bricks with the engraved names of the great Russian cultural figures, our cultural heroes. And you can see people who actually donated money to sponsor the brick with the name. And we have Ken Kovac, our mutual big friend, and Ken is actually the member of the board of the Russian Cultural Garden, and he sponsored the brick of Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov. And so we will have actually, we already started this year the virtual Walk of Fame. So we started doing the videos about the cultural heroes. And Ken is actually leading the group that will be creating the virtual presentation for Rimsky-Korsakov on our website of the Russian Cultural Garden. Next year was very important for us. In 2019, it was actually out of nowhere. We received a proposal from the International Fund Ethnic World, the Dialogue of Cultures from Russia, from Kaluga region. Ruslan Bayramov is the founder and the leader of this foundation. And they offered us the gift. They offered us the bust of Yuri Gagarin to be installed in the Russian Cultural Garden. And we kindly and gratefully accepted this gift. We received it, we received the bust in our Cleveland airport. It was funny how we delivered it to my office, installed it first in my office, and started raising funds to actually build the statue. So we needed funds, and again, it's not cheap. We needed funds to build the pedestal, to do the project. I mean, to do the blueprints for everything, get it approved, and so on and so on. That was a wonderful, wonderful example of cooperation between two countries. And the dedication of the bust and unveiling of the bust was a big deal. We had representatives from the embassy of Russia there. Mayor Jackson, mayor of Cleveland, spoke at this ceremony. The president of the Cleveland Cultural Garden Federation was there. It was a huge publicity all over the world, and it was very nice. It was very touching for us. When we met with the delegation from Volgograd, with Irina, in May of 2019, during the Russian Community Day in the City Hall of Cleveland, we actually come to a very nice idea that it may be a good exchange between Volgograd and Russia, and Cleveland, and we can encourage the artists and the sculptors from Volgograd to contribute to the Russian Cultural Garden. And I think we need to work on this idea better, and it may be a very good point of exchange, and it's absolutely in par with the ideas of CIP and Global Cleveland here. So it may be a good artistic exchange. We can do installations, we can do like permanent installation of the sculptures or artistic works in the garden, or it may be kind of exhibition, like temporary exhibition in the garden. Our garden is big and beautiful and is ready to accept and to present the beautiful pieces of art to the residents of Cleveland and to the visitors of our great city. So that's what we need to work on, and I'm very glad that we have this relationship established, and we have so many great people on both sides. And I just want to say that Russian Cultural Garden as an organization is not just building the garden itself. We also do a lot of events, and we present the Russian culture to people of Cleveland. For example, we started Maslenitsa celebration, and it's one of the most favorite winter spring events in Cleveland since oh my God, when was the first time when we started? Back in 2013. So since 2013, and we were so fortunate that we could have it this year. So it was the last event, the best offline event of the year, actually, after this lockdown started, and unfortunately we have COVID situation. But COVID cannot stop us from cooperation. COVID cannot stop us from friendship. And I think we need to move on. And thank you so much for inviting me to speak in front of this wonderful, wonderful group of people. Thank you very much.
Светлана, огромное спасибо. Do we need a translation? I think all people here understand quite well. Svetlana, спасибо. I'm very thank you too much, and I would like to. It was really interesting to know. But now, because we are lack of time, but still, we would like you to hear your ideas how you may work on our site. And I know that Pietro would like to ask questions or to be asked questions. He always wanted. If you may either ask questions or make comments and think about your ideas, how to create and work on our site. Maybe Lisa, I don't know whether Joy is with us or not. You may also share your ideas. I'm asking about our joint site. What do you think? What we should do?
One thing I want to say is I think that we need to enhance on this website. We need to, I think, enhance discussion of Cleveland's ties with Volgograd, Cleveland's ties with Russia, to show how deep this relationship really is, right? Because from that foundation, we can build so much more. I mean, I think that one thing I was talking about, like cultural collaboration, but also I'm really serious about intensification of political relations in the sense of using this relationship to potentially be something of a building block for enhancing the U.S.-Russian relationship. Because it's one thing, I mean, that, you know, you guys are a sister city, we love you, you know, as the fellow from Portland was saying that, you know, we see when he's talking about his relationship with Arkhangelsk, that basically, essentially, that we see ourselves as one city, right? We seek to have the same relationship with Volgograd, the same kind of closeness. But we also want to really take this relationship, I think, to the next level and use it to really enhance relations between the United States and Russia. So any way we can do that, to move it beyond just, you know, cooperation, which is very important, but also to use it as something that can really make a meaningful difference in the Russian-US relationship, especially considering all these problems involving international security, involving, let's say, disarmament, terrorism. I can go on with the list, but this is, I think, very important. But we can even, like I said, use it for maybe peace discussions on conflicts. You know, I mean, even use our cities as platforms for that. Have one meeting of a negotiation in Volgograd, another one in Cleveland, something like this, I think, to really elevate, and that would help both our cities too in the process. So I think that that's another potential thing too.
Okay, and Alexander Hilkov also with us today, and he would like to share. I think that there is no need to introduce him or the public knows. Alexander, you have some ideas and would like to share how to work and with our joint project at our site. What's your idea? Just we will be very happy to hear this information.
Наверное, самое главное, я хочу, во-первых, поприветствовать всех и каждого, потому что спасибо вам огромное за время и за все, что вы делаете. Сегодня говорилось о том, что очень важна официальная дипломатия, но каждый из вас является по-своему послом своей страны и послом того места, и по-своему улучшает отношения между нашими странами.
First of all, I would like to welcome all the participants and to say that all of you are the ambassadors of your cities and of the countries you represent.
Ну, да, как-то так. И я понимаю, что Юрий Федорович, скорее всего, ушел, но я просто видел, что он как бы уходил. Но, значит, там вопрос такой. Мы сейчас с вами находимся в очень интересном периоде, когда мы до сих пор можем говорить с теми людьми, которые стояли у основания городов-побратимов. Будь то Кливленд, Волгоград, будь то Архангельск, Портленд. И мне кажется, что сейчас, помимо всего прочего, нужно попытаться собрать как можно больше материалов, интервью у этих людей. Просто даже проинтервьюировать их и выложить как видеоинтервью или как аудио, потому что это очень важно. К сожалению, люди, которые стояли у истоков, они постепенно уходят. И вот эти вот вещи, они очень важны для будущего развития этих отношений. Я переведу очень быстро. I think that some of the most important key factors that were at the point where people who were in the cornerstone at the kickoff of the sister city relations, be that Portland, Arkhangelsk, or Volgograd, Cleveland, they kind of depart. And my fear is, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, I think we need to collect interviews, to record them, be that audio, that kind of testimonial proof of the beginning of relations. I think that's a key factor for the building the successful future relations, sister city relations on. Ну, наверное, вот эти вот две вещи, которые я хотел прежде всего сказать, но еще я хочу просто вот сказать, что ту работу, которую делает Елена и Центр народной или публичной дипломатии, это, мне кажется, один из самых, кстати, мне очень нравится, что вы вступили в сотрудничество с Архангельском, Портлендом, потому что, мне кажется, это одни из самых успешных моделей развития отношений городов-побратимов. Вот так вот. And I just also want to, say that the Center of Public Diplomacy of the Volgograd State University has done a tremendous job, and I'm very impressed with the work they've been doing since the very beginning. And it's so natural that they entered into cooperation with another sister city, and two of them actually represent a unique model, two different models. And in my opinion, and we in Open World over the years supported almost 90 sister city relations between our countries. I think you guys represent some of the most successful models that need to be implemented and multiplied sort of further. So congratulations.
Alexander, thank you too much. And I want to mention that we think the same way, because we have already done the interview and it will be published in our university newspapers, and we have already had this information. It was translated, and on our site you can see photos and his interview. I'm very happy that you mentioned this fact, but we really think the same way. Unfortunately, I talked to Pietro. He told that there is the man who signed the agreement died several years ago. And
no. I want to clarify what I said, because
okay.
what I said was that the foundations for the agreement were laid under this mayor who just recently died. It was George Voinovich, but the mayor who signed it was Michael White. Okay. And that's who, for example, Yuri Fyodorovich mentioned in his speech. He mentioned that Michael White had co-signed it. So that's an important detail to know, that he is still alive. But the process began when Voinovich, the man of war, as you would say in Russian, he when he was still mayor of the city, that's when this process began. Even before, even before the issue really came to Cleveland proper, it was in the sphere of the suburbs of Shaker Heights and Cleveland Heights. Ken Kovac can speak probably more to that. But yes, so I mean, Michael White, he's still around. And I think, I don't know if he's still, he retired to an alpaca farm in Central Ohio. So I don't know where that stands now. But yes, so just, I wanted to clarify that point. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. Ken, could you also say some words?
Привет, дорогие друзья. So good to be here, although I'm really sad that I'm not there in Volgograd. It tears my heart that I'm not there. I have so many dear friends, and also поздравляю, this new technology, the website is really outstanding, something that we really looked at accomplishing. And also, you know, с праздником, 30 years of our relationship with the cities. That's really outstanding. I think that this website, and now that we're getting so used to Zooming everything, that probably the technology can bring us closer than we've ever been. Sometimes it's difficult getting the money together to take the trips to other countries. And yes, I do want to come back home, as Neil said, right? And I think the fact that we have such a great group of students who are now engaged in this project, it's, you know, like what Lisa called me, Father Volgograd or Godfather Volgograd or something, but I was there from the beginning of this relationship.
Ded Moroz.
No, not but I was there from the beginning of the relationship with Volgograd and also Volsky. So, and I you know, we've had delegates from the Volgograd Oblast that also represent the city of Volsky. I think the idea of having Ohio and the Volgograd Oblast kind of look at some relationships is a very good one. I think, but back to the students, so I think our students really are a key factor here. In addition to being president of the Cleveland Volgograd Sister Cities, I'm the president of the International Community Council of Northeast Ohio. So this is a big regional group, and our main purpose is cultural competence. I mean, Svetlana mentioned how many ethnic groups, nationalities we have. We are very multicultural. We are multiracial, multi-ethnic, and we have these groups who sometimes stay together and they don't really kind of understand each other. So also as a professor of sociology, I can see where students have very limited interest in knowing about their roots. I'm already second generation American born. My mother's parents were born in Russia, my father's in Hungary. So, but the fact that here in the United States, we have such great diversity and we see the problem of people not understanding that. So as we try to, number one, people living in the greater Cleveland area really have to understand Russian people a lot better and vice versa. I think that's part of our challenge here. And those interviews, but face-to-face really is so important. Thank you all for continuing in this work. It is a mission, and it's not a mission impossible. It's something that I see over 30 years. I mean, things have changed. We've been like on a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. I really see that we're heading up that hill now, and I think it's going to be an exciting ride when we get to the top of that hill. But thank you very much, everybody, and again, you have my commitment to continue to be part of this process. To bring, and again, it's not just bringing the Russian people in Greater Cleveland together. Sometimes that's been a real challenge, but for all of the citizens of Cleveland and our Northeast Ohio region to understand all of these different nationalities that make their home there, that really have developed our area. And I think hopefully the same thing that people in the Volgograd Oblast will begin to take a look at Cleveland and how a group of really diverse people have come together to build a very important city. And I celebrate our two rivers, the Volga and the Cuyahoga. So let's keep this going. Let's move forward. Thanks again for including me in this program today.
Lisa, do you have any ideas? I know Jory is not with us right now, but maybe you have some ideas what we shall put in the site. What do you think?
I think the website is a wonderful, wonderful idea, and I'm so glad that it's come to fruition. And I think we can definitely use it more. And I was just thinking, as Ken was talking about his role at ICC, and I believe, can you do the in your backyard programs, which allow Clevelanders to view another culture, and I don't know, Ken, if you would ever think about, like, if we can arrange it so that we're actually talking to our friends in Volgograd. We can do a special one just for them virtually, because so many more people can attend now. I really think there are a lot of Clevelanders that so want to come to Volgograd and really meet our friends there. Unfortunately, Ken brought up the issue of funding, and it's definitely an issue in having people being able to travel back and forth. I mean, COVID's one thing, but before that, it was always a matter of funds. I mean, we were fortunate enough to connect with Open World, who has its mission is to bring us together, and luckily we're able to bring a lot of delegates from Volgograd. But my goal, and I don't know how to do it, I'm sure Ken and Joe and Pietro and the cultural gardens, everybody, Svetlana, will all help with this, but we do want to bring our groups together, and we do want to bring Clevelanders to you, whether it be, a group of 10 of us on a travel 10-day travel thing. I don't know, but I think that's really doable. It's just a lot of organizing and planning, and it might be 1 year, 2 year down the line, but I think it can happen. And I also, I'm very afraid of Bill Borum's challenge that he gave to us at the very beginning of this seminar, where he wanted us to regionalize and really work with the state of Ohio. I think that's a fabulous idea, but that's a relationship that we need to develop with our local governments in Cleveland. And once we're able to really, we're starting to connect way better than ever before. And once we really get that together, I think it can grow. And I think your team, the sister city team here that we have in Cleveland, will definitely help to grow that as much as we can.
And
very quickly, I wanted to thank you and the people of Volgograd for sharing that wonderful exhibit that's now up in the Cleveland Public Library. Yeah. And we're getting now to we're only allowed to bring small groups of people in. So I'm going to take the Cuyahoga Cossacks there, and we're going to sing some folk songs and record that, and we can put it on the website. But we're trying to, share the Russian culture. Certainly walking through the Russian Cultural Garden, you see all of the great people that have really provided a great quality of life to the people of Russia, to the people of the world. So
thank you so much. And
one thing I want to add, Yelena, really quick. This is very important. I want to just also give a shout out, because he's not here, to Milos Markovich. Yes. Because this guy has really gone above and beyond the call of duty. I remember right when the library opened, I asked him, what about this exhibit, can you put this up? And he was like saying, no, there's no way, it's impossible, and all this. But what he was really trying to do was keep me realistic, it seems, because he understood that he wasn't sure if this could actually be realized, but he was working very hard behind the scenes. So one day I find out that actually he put it up, and I was extremely pleased that he had gone through the extra effort to do this. He's Serbian, his wife is Russian, so he has that Slavic connection to make this work. And so he was able to get it up, and kudos to him to do that, especially because I think this is something we talk about, dispelling stereotypes, but a lot of it, I think also too, is our partnership, I think, can help spearhead the effort to change, hopefully, maybe this sounds too ambitious, but to change public perception in America of what the exact role was of the USSR in World War II. Because a lot of people in America believe America single-handedly won the war with no effort, no other assistance or anything like this. And especially when we talk about the war in Europe, which was really a Soviet war, this is not even recognized by majority of Americans. And not part of it, you could say, is our films like Saving Private Ryan. But another part of it is the fact that many Americans simply do not know. And we want to kind of challenge that. So this exhibit, I think, goes a far way to challenge this and to hopefully open up people's eyes to a new perception of what the reality actually is. So we are moving in that direction. And also, again, there are other spheres in which we can cooperate in terms of, for instance, environment. That's always been talked about almost, I mean, to death, but it's a very important point, the connection between the two rivers, right? Maybe connection between environmental movements, local environmental movements in Volgograd and in Cleveland, to develop these ties even more, because we wanted to get from the point where it's not just, well, you know, we have Russian community and, well, this is our, Rodina, this is our, like, connection with the homeland and this kind of thing. Well, okay, that's good. But we need to move from that to concrete steps to make this an actualized relationship that really can help change, in many ways, relations between people, what they call citizen diplomacy, and also at the same time to maybe even affect political diplomacy. So I think that I think Bill had the right idea, and I think we should build on what he proposed.
Yes, I would like to thank, first of all, I would like to thank Open World and Alexander Filkov, because everything that happened here and everything that was some time ago, it just because he believed in us and gave us chance to come to Cleveland. It was really because if there, so this is the key issue. And the second, really about Milos, yeah, it's a long time. We have been discussing this issue, the question of the exhibition, and it was a really tough thing. I understand all the political things that that happened, and my last letter was that I asked him to open this exhibition till this conference. He told me that it would be very difficult, and he named me the other dates, and he said that it would be maybe in December or next year. I was very, very sad. But he did not write anything to me. But I was so happy when you wrote and informed that the exhibition is now in Cleveland State Library. It's really a good job, but it's not my job or just me. It's our mutual work,
yes.
our mutual activity. That's why I would like to thank all of you for being our partners. And I hope that it will be, we will go further and we will achieve more results. Thank you too much for being with us.
The Cleveland Public Library, will live stream the event that we'll have, so it'll be on
Yeah,
Facebook.
well, that's the idea. And also, I would also like to stress too, we're very glad we could do this before the end of the year because of the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. Is extremely important. Unfortunately, COVID disrupted this, but at least we got it in the same year. So
I hope that next year we will go to Cleveland. I don't know what will happen, but maybe at the end of the year, and we will have more friends and we will increase our relations more and more. Thank you, Alexander. We believe that maybe with the Open World, we may travel next year. I saw the presentation of Lisa and was shocked that maybe 2022. I know that we have to be realistic, but we believe that next year we will be together.
You can always count on us. And I know that we have to wrap up, but let me just say that it's just coincidentally, I got a phone call this morning from a spin-off project of one of the sister cities, which was Krasnodar, Tallahassee. And, unfortunately, Krasnodar is no longer actively involved in sister city relations. But what happened, they built relations between cardiological centers, and there are some of the best in both countries, not only cities, but the countries. And so my next, my dream to do something next would be to connect Cleveland and Cleveland educational institutions to universities, wonderful universities in Volgograd, including State University of Volgograd, including Agricultural University, Medical University. I mean, you name them. I really want to see kind of implementation of something that we can see, some maybe joint projects at the university level. maybe join diplomas, join curriculum for high schools. I don't know. We can and should think in this way so that those projects would be becoming self-propelling. School, secondary, what we call here in Russia, secondary school cooperation and partnership, something like that. And I'm confident that Open World will continue. Our support will love Volgograd. We love Cleveland. And let me also say that I hope that, well, it depends on, of course, on Congress, but who knows, they might consider in some future allowing us to also fund reciprocal projects. We certainly cannot be sure at the moment, but who knows. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the nearest future. I think I will think about the idea what we could do just online, and I would be happy if you join our session and roundtable. Thank you too much, and let me say goodbye and wish. Pietro, would like to, yeah. Pietro,
oh, no. Do you want me to say something more or no?
No. Okay, thank you too much, and I would like to say goodbye. Neil, thank you too much for being with us. Hope to see you in Volgograd, in Cleveland, and in Portland.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you too much. Goodbye.
До свидания. Пока. Пока.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Никит, ну что, все, выключаем. Звук у себя включи, микрофон.
Да, включил, Олег.
Все?
Да, уже все. Мы закончили только что.
Угу. Окей, тогда я завершаю.